This is really great. I'm so happy to see so many people celebrating Clojure here in Toronto. This warms my heart, and we've wanted this here for a long time. So thank you so much to the organizers for putting this together. Nick, Carmen, Dimitri, Johnny, I have to name them all before you can start clapping. Okay, you can start clapping now. Yeah, you folks did an amazing job of putting this together, and thank you so much. So, my name is Dan. I work on this thing called Toda, where we are taking digital things and making them work more like physical things. So if you think about, I don't know, books or music or movies or game files or rewards points or your health records or your identity or anything like this, these are all, I don't know, digital assets or files or something. And the source of truth of the ownership of those things is generally inside a corporate database somewhere or a government database somewhere. And it would be nice if it wasn't, because that takes away a lot of your power and your agency. So we're working to find ways to give people that back, to give you possession of your digital things, to make them unique within the space of digital things, to allow you to have agency over those, so you can give them away, you can lend it to somebody, you can sell it, you can rent it. And also to allow you to have a sense of permanence around that. So if you take care of it well, you can actually pass it down through the generations. And to have these qualities like value preservation. So doing this thinking about taking digital things and kind of imbuing them with physical properties, with this physicality, has also got me thinking about going the other direction and taking physical things and making them digital. So this is work that, you know, I and a lot of people in this room have been doing for 20 years, taking paper and people process like this and digitizing it, right? I mean, who does this kind of thing in your day job? 3 people, okay, a third of the room, right? So, I mean, this is what a lot of us do. We take process that is composed of people and of paper, and we digitize it. And I never really stopped to wonder why. Why are we doing this? And in particular, what are the trade-offs around taking something that is a people and paper process and making it a digital process? It was just always obvious to me that this was the right thing to do, because it's digital and computers are great. And so this is clearly a better way of doing things. I'm talking too fast, so I need to take a moment. Reflect on these ideas. So, what are the trade-offs around this? I think it would be a very interesting talk to give you a detailed and nuanced view of the trade-offs in this space. 10 minutes is not enough time to do that. So I would like to see one of you give that talk someday, maybe at the next conference next year, Clojure North. Instead, I just want to present a problem with no solutions that has been clawing at my head for a while, and see if I can convey that problem to you so that you understand it also. So the problem takes place through a story. Oops, that is the wrong size. That's okay. Does this work? No. Does this work? No. Okay. Well, we'll deal with it being slightly too large. So it's cropped at the top and bottom. That's fine. I got this piece of software the other day to help me organize myself and get things done. I didn't actually, I don't know how this works. I'm just making up a story for you. So I get a piece of software, I'm using it to get things done. And over time, I find ways to kind of customize it for my own process, and there's features that I use, and there's, you know, I'm using it in various ways. Maybe I'm tapping into the data that it creates. And then the second version of that comes out, and I upgrade, and what happens? So suddenly all of my data has been migrated. There's a bunch of features that I'm not interested in using that I now maybe, you know, have. At least I'm carrying the weight of having those features in front of me. Features that I was using may have been deprecated. They're no longer available. And in general, my process has completely changed. So my process of working with the software has changed, and I didn't want it to. And the reason it changed is because when that sequel of the software comes out, and I install it, this is a monolithic, unchangeable, unmodifiable thing that is happening to my system. And it changes everything about my process all at once. And if I'm using this process to organize my life or to get my job done efficiently, this is a really bad thing, right? So just to clarify what I don't mean, the solution is not web applications, where, of course, instead of having a new version come down every once in a while, you now have features that can come out all the time. That seems better, right? Except you have no choice in that. You have no control over it, at least with a new software version, like for my desktop or my mobile app. I get some choice in that, and I can choose to not update. I have 99 plus permanently as my app update number. Yeah, so that's not what I mean. Web apps don't help with this. In fact, they're worse because that corporation that controls it can change my life anytime they want with zero ability to change it. So contrast this with, if I bought the How to Get Things Done Effectively book, right? And I start using that, and now I've got this process, and my process is much messier, right? Maybe it looks like this. Again, there's cropping, but so I've got this very messy process now, but it's a process that's working for me, and I can customize it over time. So I've customized this process, and then the sequel comes out, right? The next version of the book comes out, and what do? I read through the book, I skip anything I'm not interested in. The things that I think might be useful, I try them out, right? I try out these new ideas, I try out these new features, I try out new data structures, new process, and anything I like, I keep. Anything I don't like, I roll back. And I'm able to customize each of those to fit my needs personally and fit my process exactly, and I can optimize it over time. So what does this tell us? Well, it tells us that process is personal. So each of us is going to have our own way of being most effective in guiding ourselves and doing our business in all of the things that we do. And the software that we ship doesn't really respect that generally. Generally, for the most part, what we are shipping to end users is, here's the 80% average. And we don't really give the ability for anyone to take that and make it most effective for them because we're lacking that kind of customizability. But even more to the point, even if you are giving your users the ability to customize their process, you are almost certainly between versions of your software not giving them the ability to control the fact that they've done that. So we lose UI elements, we lose functionality, we lose things that we've come to rely on to make ourselves effective. And I think the problem here is that our building blocks are wrong. So, we use Clojure here in this room, most of us. So we've got these very nice abstractions for expressing functionality, right? Our Clojure functions are an embedding of the type lambda calculus. So this gives us this beautiful, mathematical way of expressing computation. And then we can take that expression of computation in the form of a function, and we can compose these things in different ways. We can modularize them in different ways, right? We've got namespaces and modules and libraries and APIs and all of this stuff, and that's great. The problem is, and I should emphasize, if what you are writing, if the programs that you are writing are about taking data from one computer and transforming it and giving it to another computer, then you're off the hook for this talk, because you're just talking about computers to computers, and expressing computation is exactly what you want to do there. But if you're delivering software to people and you're writing it in a way that is only about expressing computation, then you don't have the fundamental building blocks or ideas that you need to be able to express humane ways of thinking about functionality and process that those users, those people, can actually make use of in a way that they know is sound and reliable and is not going to change over time. I have no idea if this makes sense to anybody, but it's been bothering me for a long time, and I find myself more and more reluctant to adopt any kind of new technology, because I know when I do, it's just going to change out from under me. And I think somehow the problem there is that our fundamental building blocks of thinking about software for humans are wrong, and we need to understand at a very abstract level how to think about features and process in a way that gives the same kind of abstraction and composition abilities that our thinking about computation gives us. And I don't know what this looks like. This is a problem that I think we as a community need to solve together. So I just want to express the problem. No solutions here today because I'm out of time. So thank you very much.